As they say in PIHL hockey, let's do that PIHL hockey. Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm Matt Popchock, and we're at the Galaxy Rink inside the Baierl Ice Complex in Warrendale, Pennsylvania, for another PIHL Hockey Night Live doubleheader on 10-Band TV, presented by Iron Bridge. One of the toughest parts of broadcasting is that occasionally you have to discuss sobering news on the air with a certain level of professionalism, and that's what I'm going to try to do right now. This past weekend, I was shocked and saddened to hear of the untimely death of PIHL Commissioner John Muka, and my friends at 10-Band TV joined the rest of the league and the Muka family in their grieving. Mr. Muka passed away suddenly at the age of 63 while traveling to New York last week. Our condolences go out to, among others, his wife Ann, his daughter-in-law Molly, and speaking as a person who has lost a parent, I hope his daughter Sarah and son Joe take comfort in knowing that you will get stronger every day. I truly wish that I had gotten to know Mr. Muka better, because he did what every commissioner of this league should aspire to do: grow the game. He saw it through the pandemic, and he made sure that the creation of the girls division, in talks for many years, finally came to fruition. Of equal importance, he welcomed me back to the PIHL, and I am forever in his debt for this. And now, because there is no correct or comfortable way to do so, I'm just going to tell our audience that now we're going to talk about a hockey game. Celebrating youth hockey in Western PA is what we do, and it's what John would want us to do. Game 1 tonight is between the Montour Spartans and the Avonworth Antelopes of the Class A Gold Division. And now I welcome in my good friend Brian Mitchell for his thoughts on tonight's matchup, the first of two on our air tonight, and his thoughts as well on his time spent working with the late John Muka.
Oh man, that's a tough lead in there. I was hoping that I didn't have to answer this one again, but everything that I've been through in my time with this league, and it all goes back to John allowing me to have the ability to just come out and bring everybody a little bit more of high school action here and there, even to the point of allowing me to join the league in a limited capacity this season, which unfortunately, you know, with the circumstances, this will be my final broadcast of the season, because I'm going to have to help out on a little bit more of a level from this point forward. But so thank you guys for having me this evening. John was just a great guy. Just remember the phone calls he would have. My favorite line from John was always, hey, you know, your job is to just make me look better and make my job easier. And I believe it was a couple weeks ago I was driving to Buffalo, which he made fun of me for driving to Buffalo in December, was, you did a good job, thank you so much. And he doesn't usually do that. He actually called me back after hanging up to tell me that. So, John, thank you for everything. And, you know, as I said on my broadcast on Thursday, he would want the games to go on, and that's what we're going to do here. We're all going to, you know, move on with his memory and everything that he's built in this league. So I'm going to flip to the opposite side of what you were saying, and I actually came home from work today, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll come and help him out with the game tonight. I wasn't planning on coming out tonight, but Montour and Avonworth, this is going to be an interesting matchup between these two teams. I can't remember if these two have faced off this season so far. You probably have that detail. I'd use all the stats and everything. I can't remember. Do we have one here?
They actually have, Mitch. Montour was victorious over Avonworth 6-2 back on the 5th of December.
They had to the tiebreaker. And actually, the funny thing is I probably did call that game. You know what? I actually did call that game. This is everything I've got going on in this world. These two teams are offensive-minded. Now it's going to come down to it. Ethan Diani in goal for Montour. They don't have Haley with them tonight. Two freshman goaltenders for these Montour Spartans. They both played amazingly this season. The opposite side, it's going to be somebody in net. It's going to be Danny Mack. I apologize. I wasn't prepared for tonight's broadcast. I told you that, Mr. Popchock. And Danny Mack has been solid all season for Avonworth. Avonworth started out the gate really hot, come back down to earth a little bit lately, but I believe these two are fighting for playoff positioning right now. They're both in very well in the class, but they're fighting for that tiebreaker and the ability to move on to that crossover game and maybe possibly try to make a move up into those top two positions.
Absolutely, Brian, and Danny Mack is a very big somebody, and the last time we saw that somebody play hockey in this venue, he stopped not one, but two penalty shots in the same game, including one in sudden victory overtime to lead Avonworth to a shootout victory over West Allegheny going into the holiday break, and he's been the Iron Man for the Lopes this year. So it is indeed a very interesting goaltending matchup, and a young one, a sophomore against a freshman, as Deani gets the nod, as you said, for the Spartans. And To your point about playoff positioning, Montour coming in 8-3 overall, Avonworth 8-5 overall. Both teams 16 points. Both teams sharing that number 5 spot in the gold division. The top 6 in each, the gold and blue divisions, get in Class A in the Penguins Cup playoffs. The winner of this game here will move, for the moment, into 3rd place in the gold division. And with that, 1 point behind 2nd place Quaker Valley for one of those coveted first-round byes in the Penguins Cup playoffs. So there's a fine line between these teams, and there's a lot of fine lines in the standings in general right now, separating an awful lot of pretty competitive hockey clubs.
Oh yeah, absolutely, especially in single A this year. And the way that it's built, I think everybody, the playoff positioning and how this is important, is those top 2 seeds in each division are going to get a bye in the first round. I'm going to have to play that first round game. And then positions 3 through 6 will have to play crossover games against the other division, meaning 3 will play 6 in the other division, 4 and 5, same way. They have to play each other. So finding that matchup against those teams in the other division is going to be important. You don't get to see them as often, if not at all, this season on the opposite division to the playoffs. So you're going to have to find out what you got here and get that position. Maybe get that extra day off in week 1, which you don't have to play on Monday or Tuesday. Maybe have to play on Thursday and pick up that game there.
This is a great coaching matchup, too. Stephen LaShawn coaching the Avonworth Antelopes had a lot of success coaching their JV program to back-to-back championships. This is his first year at the helm of the varsity squad, and they're looking great in their first year since moving up from the co-op Division II classification. Jason Evans has just a couple years into the gig at Montour and had big shoes to fill in the person of Clay Shell. Shell, of course, led the Spartans to their first and only Penguins Cup championship right before the pandemic hit. And Evans, boy, he had a tough offseason last year trying to get ice time and rink time and practice time and a conditioning program. Not quite as difficult this year, and the Spartans really have meshed as a team. They've got very balanced scoring, they defend well, and they've got a couple of interesting kids in between the pipes, so should be a good one here tonight.
You said it right, it's team. It's team, and whenever you go through those type of situations, as the associations go, because you play with these kids for a long time, throughout your entire developmental time, and whenever you have a separation like that from a coaching staff to coaching staff, there's going to be that year that maybe, okay, well, this is what's going to happen. And Jason Evans has definitely found the key to put these guys together and make sure that they're firing at all cylinders. And to the opposite side, Avonworth, I mean, they get the separation from Ambridge from last season. Now they're coming into a pure team, a team coming into their own, and to be able to do what they did in their first year as a pure team, just has to be admire those two programs for bouncing back and maybe building their programs and even programs in general for Western Pennsylvania to look at and say, hey, this is how you do it. This is what you need to do to get the job done and be able to make it best for everybody out there.
And keeping it in the family never hurts from time to time. Jason Evans doing so as he is assisted by Cameron Evans, who was this past year the leading scorer in the first season of the PIHL Girls Division. And we talked about the role that the late John Muka had in bringing that to light.
Yeah, we're going to be excited to see that come back this year. Some details that we'll be talking about soon, I hope, about that league. But for now, we've got a game to go, and you're up, Mr. Mutt.
Austin Gaddy, a PIHL All-Star, takes the face-off for the Lopes, and he wins the draw for Avonworth, which moves from left to right on your TV, computer, or mobile device to begin tonight's game. The Spartans play behind their own net, and they do so to Riley Cessna, the senior defenseman, who sends it to the half wall, where the Spartans will sail it up through center. That outlet pass a little too heavy, but in hot pursuit is Chase Schultenbrand. Can't get there in time to negate the icing call, however, and we have our first stoppage of the game 22 seconds in.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which team can grip that momentum early, because both teams have very high, potent offenses, and both can move the puck to the neutral zone. So the defense is going to be at premium here, and let's see how this one plays out, sir.
Gaddy against Schultenbrand in the face-off to the left of goaltender Ethan Diani. And this time Montour prevails in the face-off circle. And the Spartans will Murphy dump this puck up ahead to center and have a possible 2-on-1 the other way with Schultenbrand from the left side. He fires off Mack, and that might have caught a piece of the post as well. Montour finding metal but not mesh early. Gaddy lost the puck as he came just inside the Montour blue line, and the Spartans send it the other direction from in front of their own bench before it's taken right back by Connor Ralston, who had a couple of assists in Avonworth's last game against the Montour Spartans. We told you the Spartans took that one 6-2 back on December 5th. You can watch it, by the way, on demand on 10 Band TV. In deep is J.J. Stroka, the sophomore blue liner from Montour, sending it near side. Montour tries to clear its own end and does. Holden Wilpula sends it near corner. Austin Sadowski trying to cut him off, but Wilpula gets there first. Stolen by the Lopes, who try to play it aside from Danny Mack defensively. Avonworth under a little bit of pressure in their own end, but they will be able to bring this puck up to neutral ice. As Zadovsky sends it deep, and Diani will watch it go by. Lopes near corner, up to the point for Ralston. Ralston deflected off an Avonworth stick and played out. The rebound is whiffed on just barely by alternate captain Avery Leffler. Leffler had that shootout winning goal in that wild win over West A as Danny Mack covers this puck for his first save of the night. And Mack had 35 of those the last time he faced the Montour Spartans, which at the time was a season high for him. That was until the very next game when he had to make 36 against North Hills, unfortunately taking the defeat in that game as well.
Yeah, Zolka had a nice little stick check down there to keep that puck from coming back onto the stick. That shot from coming off.
Johnny Smallwood in his own corner. Tries to play it up to center. He can't. Good keep of the blue line there by Lane and Carlisle. Carlisle can't get the puck cleanly on goal, however, and Richard Mulch, the freshman, comes the other way for Avonworth. Mulch hits the brakes, top of the right circle, dropping for Smallwood. Bouncing puck in on net. Kicked out of there by Diani, and the rebound is just wide of a waiting Avonworth stick. That, I believe, of freshman Jack Dolan, as Montour is guilty of icing with 14:41 to go in a scoreless first.
Two missed sticks across the center. Hunter Fiedler was coming the other way. He wasn't able to corral the puck as it was coming past him. So if he would have had that puck, it would have been an opportunity for him to go off to the races.
Dolan going to stay on to take the face-off in the offensive zone for Avonworth here. And it looks like Caden Herbst, the sophomore, is going to do the honors for Montour. Dolan wins it, shoots right on net, and the save is made by Diani, and he covers.
Yeah, watch the face-off plays between these two teams because they both seem to be able to get around their own defenders, and it creates that opportunity on the goaltender where they might not be ready for it.
This puck pushed to the corner where Dolan immediately goes in after it and has possession for Avonworth behind the Montour goal. Centering pass out in front, nobody home, and Montour takes it in transition. Jonah Camerdies Woodruff just going to be able to get this one inside the Avonworth blue line before the Lopes take it over, bounce it off the boards, but not quite back to neutral ice. Lopes play it off the glass this time, and it is tapped back towards center by Mulch as Stephen LeSean wants to make a change on the fly here. Rogers dumps it in the general direction of Danny Mack, who knocks it to the corner to his left. Herbst met in by a couple of white jerseys and behind the goal line as Avonworth deflects this puck back to the center circle. Taken over by Cessna defensively from Montour. Outlet to Rogers. Rogers gains the red line, dumps it in, and now Jason Evans wants to change on the hop here. Steal by the Spartans, but Avonworth, no harm done. Puck played back beyond the Lopes bench, and from the officials' crease, it's sent into the offensive zone by Colin Anderson. Spartans go D to D. Near side it comes to Liam Dallas, who had a couple of points in the last meeting between these teams. Dallas over the blue line. In behind the net to nobody in particular. It's played defensively there by Dylan Teddies. Turnaround try by the Spartans, but good poke check there by Avonworth at the last moment before the puck could be put on net. And the Spartans reset from inside their own blue line. Outlet pass, near side of Dallas. Dallas tries to go between the circles, but has too many Avonworth Antelopes in the way. And here comes Avonworth counterattacking. Jake Seifarth, right circle, shooting, save made, rebound, cleared out of there.
Good stick by Dallas.
Bouncing puck in front, and Liam Dallas will get it up ahead to center. Montour coming back, trying to generate a 2-on-1 cross ice. Frank goes to a man, or right side, excuse me, that's Schultenbrand, who put it just wide of the net. Chance now for Montour on the wraparound. Save made by Mack, and it was bouncing in the blue paint and cleared out of there immediately by the Lopes. And that was Teddy's cleaning up that mess as bodies collide in neutral ice. Wilpula coming over the line, putting it off the blocker of Danny Mack. Puck centered out in front, but off an Avonworth skate. Lopes unable to clear. Caden Martin couldn't handle that puck. And here the other direction comes Joey Moore. 13 goals on the season to lead the Lopes, and he is hit hard. Stood up by J.J. Stroka, the sophomore. Smallwood back in his own end, gave it away. Here comes Montour with a chance, but that shot is deflected off the attempt by Dalton Zolka, the senior all-star. Zolka had a goal the last time these teams met. 5-game point streak for Zolka from November 7th through December 12th. Chance for the Lopes the other way. Ralston unable to center. Good job there by the defender to give up the body for Montour as it comes to the right point. Smallwood through a crowd. That shot never made it on goal. Leffler retreating defensively for Avonworth with 11 1/4 to go in the first period of a scoreless game. This puck in on goal, tapped aside carefully by Diani. Smallwood intercepts at the blue line, but the Lopes are offside.
I want to touch here and talk about J.J. Stroka. I've watched this Montour Spartan several times this season to this point, and the kid has definitely made progress throughout the year to be given more ice time by Jason Evans, and he has definitely shown his worth as we moved along in this season, and it's interesting to see how he does. I believe he's a sophomore on the season.
He is, as Montour controls this puck off the faceoff.
And he's been out there with his brother, I think, which has also helped him out a little bit.
Backdoor play, put just wide of the net by Ralston. You refer, of course, to David Stroka, who also was selected to the Gold Division All-Star team from the Montour roster. 10-Band TV, by the way, will have coverage of the PIHL All-Star event as Danny Mack makes that save in tight. And that's all happening on Sunday, January 29th. More details to come. Carlisle from the left point sends it around the boards. Thomas barefoot anticipating. Centering pass intended for Fiedler is going to be intercepted by Avonworth and sent back to center. Ralston applying pressure as Montour gets it back to neutral ice and sends it in just inside the Avonworth blue line where Teddy's intercepts. Braden Penrose, the Avonworth captain, handling this puck over the Montour blue line, ducks around Carlisle before he's sent into the boards. Aiden Odell from the corner gave it away to one of the Spartans, and Montour will slowly bring this puck through center. Spartans able to stay onside there just barely as the puck is erroneously put out of play. Referee Pisano making the call.
That was close to being an offside call. There was a little bit of confusion in front of the Avonworth benches as the puck was brought in. I think it was thrown off of the Montour player while it was in the zone. So I don't have the replay in front of me, but at this time I would say that was closer to an offside, and that was the argument was.
Clean face-off win for Avonworth. Back to center it comes. Cessna puts it deep into Lopes territory. Leffler playing it defensively with his back to the play. Sends it up ahead to Aiden Odell. Cessna pulling back for Montour. Goes cross ice to defensive partner David Stroka. Spartans able to get this puck deep. Dolan reverses the play for Avonworth, but Montour keeps it in the zone. Long range shot denied by Danny Mack. Bouncing puck out in front. Mack has to be careful to squeeze that one and hold it for a face-off. Shots even at 5 as we creep up upon the midpoint of this scoreless first period. I'll make that 7-5 now in favor of Montour.
I think they gave him 2 at the end on that play after you read it.
And Montour fights for possession of this face-off and centers it in front again, knocked aside by Mack, and again, Mack will flip it to himself and hang on.
There's a little bit of credit to Danny Mack in there as that puck is flying through the crease. You're seeing several sticks come in, and it just takes a little bit of focus on that one to make sure that you don't let that puck just slide through to an opposite side. And he's doing a really good job trying to clear out the puck himself, but they need to get in there and make sure they get those Montour sticks out of there.
Long range shot went off a skate and wide. Mack, the Class A leader in minutes played with 716 of those coming in. 8 victories on the year as this save is made at the other end by his counterpart, Ethan Diani. And there is no rebound. 8 victories, by the way, for Mack coming in to week 14, excuse me. Gaddy to take the face off for Avonworth. And he pushes it immediately to the boards where Montour is ready and waiting. Comes back to the Avonworth blue line. Gaddy sends it off the boards and deep into Spartan territory. David Stroka playing it carefully from the near side. Up ahead a little too heavy for Schultenbrand, and this will be icing against Montour.
That was close. Looking to sneak that one off the far boards. Schultenbrand just couldn't get on his horse enough to get to it.
Scoreless game, first period. Avonworth had a first period lead at 2-1 the last time these teams met. Montour scored 5 unanswered to win that game. Face-off won by the Lopes. And controlling it for the moment is Anderson, the freshman. But Montour gains possession, and they have a 2-on-1 coming the other way. Schultenbrand watching, shooting off the crossbar. He's had the best looks of the game in the early goings for Montour. Caden Martin defensively up ahead to Liam Dallas. Anderson backhands it to the red line, and Dallas is hit hard by one of the Antelopes. That's Hennigan. Brendan Hennigan, the freshman, laying the lumber.
He came up with an elbow right in front of us, and I was just thinking as that play progressed, these teams started to get a little physical as the period moved along, and somebody was going to give here, and I think that was what it was, as he just came shooting through and just elbows up.
Now, both these teams, you said it earlier, Mitch, they know how to put the puck in the net. 63 goals for both these teams coming in, tied for 6th out of the 23 teams in PIHL Class A. But Montour would like to get its power play going. They come in a modest 17th in single A at 17.1%.
Well, I believe with my first game that I covered them, they did not score a single, I don't think they scored a single power play goal in the month of November, or at least towards the end, mid-November. It was before they had 2 goals here. I think it was 2 or 3 goals they had here. And then they just went on a rampage, so they're just catching up from the beginning of a slow start.
Stroka from the right circle. In on Mack, who makes the save, and the rebound is going to be cleared up, but not out by Dylan Teddies. Moskovitz drops it to the center point for Stroka. Stroka, cross ice for Schultenbrand. Centering for Moskovitz. He feints on the attempted shot. Spartans still have it operating on the power play with 1:15 to go and the penalty on Hennigan. Long range shot kicked out of there by Mack. David Stroka, has the rebound, and he sends it to JJ Stroka. Right side to Holden Wilpala. Wilpala up to JJ Stroka. Back for Holden Wilpala. JJ Stroka shooting in on Mack and deflects into his chest, and the Lopes were able to send it up, but not out.
Good tip by Zolka.
David Stroka watches this go to Wilpala. And the brothers Stroka connect one more time. And this is David with it. Down low for Moskovitz. 33 to go on the Montour power play. Moskovitz brings it around to his backhand. Dropping it for Wilpala. Oh, the Spartans just not on the same page there, as Rowley Cessna couldn't enter the zone in time to take the pass. And Montour has to tag up here at the end of their power play.
JJ Stroka took a long line change, and they just weren't able to time that out.
Here come the Spartans, though, creating space. And a shot deflected just wide of the Avonworth goal crease. 8 seconds to go in the minor penalty on Hennigan. Moskovitz dropping back, but it's going to be intercepted and cleared by Joey Moore. And a chance the other way, possibly shorthanded for Penrose. Penrose, the Avonworth captain, puts it right off the stomach of Diani, who came out to challenge the shooter. Back to 5 aside as Moskovitz drops it back. Intended for Jack Rogers, it's broken up by Avonworth. Montour 0 for 5 in their last game on the power play. A 5-0 loss to North Hills on the island that you called, Brian, back on the 19th of December. This outlet pass by Martin a little too heavy for Rogers, and it's icing on Montour.
It was a good kill for the Antelope there, but you had to look and see how they were moving for the Montour Spartans. They are just moving as a unit right now, one piece moving around. And if it wasn't for the line change, I'm pretty sure they would have at least gotten another 1 or 2 more opportunities towards the end of that power play.
Austin Zadovsky, the freshman, on to take the face-off for Avonworth against Schultenbrand. And Avonworth controls this puck off the offensive zone draw. Up to the point for Smallwood. Smallwood off a Montour stick. And the Spartans should be able to get this puck up through center, up to center at least, before it's taken by Cooper Powell the other way. Ralston on one hand centers it in on Diani, who makes the save, and the loose puck is cleared out of there immediately by the Montour Spartans. Montour not standing on ceremony in front of their freshman keeper. Off the boards it comes, back to the left point. Bottled up there by Zadovsky, it appears. Caden Martin with it for Montour. And from the near side, this is Schultenbrand bringing it up ahead to Rogers. Rogers, oh no, that's Hunter Fiedler, 38, not 98, I'm sorry. Trying to set that puck up for Rogers, but it was not to be. Chance the other way for Avonworth. Pardon me, as Connor Ralston was dispossessed. And Montour comes back with an opportunity the other way as a save is made by Danny Mack on Fiedler. Long lead pass intended for Ralston is going to be icing on the Antelopes.
One of these times, one of these stretch passes is going to work. And it's going to be interesting to see if the goalies are up for task, because one-on-one, these might have two of the better teams when it comes to one-on-one players.
Face-off coming up to the left of Danny Mack. Teddy's going to take the draw for Avonworth against Caden Herbst of Montour. A correction, Dolan's going to take it for the Lopes. And Dolan wins it to Silas Newhouse-Godine as it comes near corner. Newhouse-Godine behind the goal line is bodied off the puck by Herbst, but he got rid of it in the nick of time. Avonworth trying to methodically get this puck out of their own zone. Montour creating all kinds of traffic problems along the far boards as this puck is sailed wide of the Avonworth goal. Final 3:15 of a scoreless first period in PIHL Class A Gold Division action here at the Baierl Complex in Warrendale. Bouncing puck in front. And Cameron Woodruff unable to tee that one up as Aiden Odell gives chase for Avonworth. Richard Mulch putting it back briefly inside the Montour zone before the Spartans come back over the Avonworth blue line. Dolan with it now for Avonworth around the boards. And in flight is Richard Mulch. Up ahead, a little too heavy for Odell. It'll be taken by David Stroka defensively. Cross ice he goes. Up the boards to Cameron Woodruff. Now for Dylan Rogers, who enters the zone offside.
He just preceded the puck, brought the skates in before the puck. Tried to reach back, nothing there. You know what I've noticed is that the hitting, the physicality slowed down just a bit after that elbowing call. You think that they probably said something on the benches to watch it, because that was a pretty egregious hitter along the boards.
And off the face-off, it's Hennigan for Avonworth. Setting it in behind the goal line. Near corner, Cessna playing defensively for Montour. Spartans survey the play and bounce it off the boards up ahead, too far for the reach of Dallas, but it is taken in stride by Chase Schultenbrand on the off wing. Schultenbrand trying to get around Smallwood. Out in front it comes. Oh, what a save on the one-timer there by Danny Mack. Final 2 of first period play. David Stroka under pressure from Hennigan. Stroka up to center for Dallas, who immediately sends this puck in behind the Avonworth cage. Smallwood around the boards, but not out. Herbst from the right point. Off the glove hand of Mack, who had to read that bounce carefully. Hennigan reverses the play for Colin Anderson. Anderson couldn't outmaneuver the Spartan below the goal line as it's gotten up to Riley Cessna. Snapshot from distance, save made by Danny Mack, and he controls the rebound.
Danny Mack seeing everything that's been thrown his way so far. It's even through all the screens and all the opportunities of the bouncing pucks in front of him, with the sticks flaring, he has been able to put his hand on everything so far.
Well, we told you what a busy man he's been. As this puck comes behind the Avonworth net, it's out in front, and from his knees, unable to shoot this puck, is Dalton Zolka.
Looked like his controller was disconnected.
It did indeed. Now here's a shot from long range, kicked aside by the right leg of Mack. Centering play in front, intended for Moskovitz, did not connect. Jake Seifarth creating problems in the offensive zone for Avonworth. Seifarth centering, snapshot, save made Diani, and the rebound goes wide to his left. Steal by Seifarth. Seifarth around his man. Seifarth in behind the net. Bumped off the puck neatly by Caden Martin. Montour flips this puck into the near corner for Holden Wilpula. Wilpula gets there first with his back to the play. He centers it to nobody in particular. Final 25 seconds of the first period. Here the other way comes Seifarth. Seifarth driving the net, lost the puck at the last moment. Up to the right point it comes. And Moskovitz spun around a man there to get that puck back to neutral ice. 7 seconds left. Teddy's going to play conservatively in his own corner as first period time will run out here at the Galaxy rink, where your score after one at the Baierl Ice Complex is the Montour Spartans nothing, the Avonworth Antelopes nothing. With Brian Mitchell, I'm Matt Popchock. It's PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10-Band TV, presented by Iron Bridge. First period shots 16-10 in favor of the Montour Spartans, who are scoreless with their Class A Gold Division brethren, the Avonworth Antelopes, as those teams battle for temporary possession of third place in said division here tonight. Game one of our PIHL Hockey Night Live doubleheader on 10-Band TV. Matt Popchock and Brian Mitchell on board with you here in Warrendale as the teams have switched sides. And we were just talking during the break, the E-Bug. We always pay attention to that nowadays, especially after what happened within the last couple of years in the NHL. The E-Bug, in case you're wondering, for the Avonworth Antelopes, is Baylor Kirsch, a junior who is lined up at forward and actually has a goal and an assist at forward this year. Kirsch is wearing a number 58 jersey that has a MAC nameplate on the back of it.
We go Fiedler, bringing it back across.
Across for Stroka. And this is David Stroka in the corner to begin the second period for the Spartans. Stroka unable to find a partner to hook up with as Avonworth brings this puck back to center. Cooper Powell to the near corner, trying to duck around Thomas Barefoot as Barefoot rides him into the glass. Powell getting a shoulder blow there as he plays this puck up to the right point. Cross as it comes now to Penrose, the Avonworth captain. Bouncing puck in on net. Oh, what a save there by Diani, as he just reached out and saw it at the last second and snatched it for a face-off.
A big save for Diani, because that one was fluttering on net off speed, and if he wasn't ready for that one late, he got that glove up. He's been very solid in his starts this season. He's been in that co-op with Haley to this point, and what he's shown so far as a freshman has been, they both have shown very solid potential as freshmen this year.
Oh, Montour had great goaltending on its Penguins Cup championship team a few years ago. They've had great goaltending over the years on their other teams that made it to the Penguins Cup championship but didn't win, as this puck is out of play. You got to figure between him and Haley, the future is very, very bright at that position for Jason Evans' team. Face-off coming up to Diani's left. Doolin against Schultenbrand. And Schultenbrand prevails for Montour. And sends it left side to Dallas. Dallas around a man. Liam Dallas keeping his feet as he and Leffler collide behind the goal line. Schultenbrand up to the point. Snapshot by Martin. Kicked out of there by Mack. The rebound loose at the side of the net. Montour trying to get it out in front in a hurry, but they can't. And that was Vincent Frank at the right point trying to get open, and he has it now for Montour as this puck goes off an Avonworth stick and wide of the goal. Danny Mack watching the play develop carefully as the Spartans continue to cycle this puck. And a steal there by Avonworth and a chance the other way. And a penalty coming up against Montour. Odell to the goal, scores! Aiden Odell is the first to nuzzle that nylon on this Monday night in the North Hills. 1-0 Avonworth, 1:36 into the second period. The sophomore's 7th goal of the year.
That was just a heads-up play, being able to grab that puck in the neutral zone with Stroka all over him, coming in and just gliding one through the 5-hole on Diani and making it 1-0. I mean, there's not much Diani could do about that. He just was an off-speed shot down low. And I was just thinking about this. It was going to be a battle of the adjustments here. You saw what happened in the first period, these two teams filling each other out. Now it was just to see which coach could make the adjustment quicker to where he saw the weakness.
Jake Seifarth, the big lumbering forward, in after it, ducking around to check for Avonworth. Has it in the left circle, now goes right circle. And this snapshot is denied by Diani. Bouncing puck at the top of the goal crease is right out to Leffler. Leffler puts it off a Montour body and wide of the net. And suddenly, Avonworth has got the hop here early in the second period as Montour is guilty of icing. 1-0 Lopes after the goal by Aiden Odell on the breakaway. His 7th of the season, as I said a moment ago.
Yeah, the puck just floated off of the Kareem up the side. Stroka got caught flat-footed, tried to take down, and there was actually a penalty on the play. Was able to be canceled off by the goal, but Odell with just a beautiful shot and a finish on that one.
And from behind the goal line, it comes up to the point where it's played under the Avonworth bench. A hard shoulder bump there by Fiedler on one of the Antelopes.
I believe it's antelope, even if it's plural, sir.
Kind of like the Stanford Cardinal.
Yes.
One of those deals.
It is still antelope as plural, sir.
Is it wildebeests or wildebeest? Does it work both ways?
I don't think we have to worry about that.
I learned my obligatory new thing for the day. I'm a happy man.
It's more than one deer, so it's the same general idea.
Okay, I gotcha. Jack Rogers plays it from his own circle for Montour up to the Avonworth blue line. Spartans trying to respond here, down 1-0 with 14:18 to go to the ice cut. Bouncing puck out in front, off a skate. Reset to center point. Oh, this shot is cranked by Stroka, David Stroka that is. And Danny Mack had to make a loud save there. Puck back to center, good poke check there by Hennigan. But Montour out-muscles him off that puck. And Fiedler sends it into Avonworth territory. Penrose in front of his own goal, up to neutral ice. As the puck comes off his stick vis-a-vis David Stroka. And Montour now offside, entering Avonworth ice.
I'm noticing something from the Montour Spartans in this period is that they're playing a little more conservative around the blue line. There was an opportunity for Barefoot to chase that puck down along the near wall. He just stood up around the blue line. Not saying they're afraid to come back across and take that odd man opportunity, but after what they just saw the other way, maybe they're trying to leave a couple guys back to not have that happen again.
And another offside call here as the Spartans are just trying to get in sync after giving up the game's first goal. Avonworth gets this up through center, no icing. This USA hockey crew says. David Stroka with his back to the play is bodied from behind by one of the Antelope. That's Anderson, but Montour still able to get it outside their own end as the Lopes send it right back in. Strelka from behind his own net. Comes to the red line, goes cross ice. And again, Montour offside as Camerdy's Woodruff gets a little love tap from Anderson at the end of that play. 4 minutes into the second period.
Seems like that goal took a lot out of the mental aspect of the Montour Spartans. They just haven't been able to get on the same page in the last couple shifts, and a lot of lackluster passing, and the plays just aren't developing for them. It's like timing just got stopped all of a sudden. See how they can readjust.
Sorry, Brian. For the Spartans, this is actually their first game of the 2023 portion of their regular season, as this puck is put off the body of Danny Mack at the far side of the net. And maybe the Spartans feeling a little bit of the effects of that long holiday layoff as they are back to action for the first time in the calendar year tonight. Puck goes through the blue paint and wide. Collective groan going up from the fans off to our far right. Montour continues to cycle here, down 1-0, 12.5 to go, second period. Strelka going cross ice. JJ Strelka, that is, to Caden Martin. Martin is poke checked, and here comes Avonworth the other way. Cross ice for Zadovsky. Zadovsky off balance, puts it off the pipe. Oh, Zadovsky had Diani leaning the wrong way, but just couldn't hit the target. Good work there at center ice by Zadovsky. He's doing yeoman's work to win back possession for Avonworth as Montour pries it loose and sends it back to center. Lopes just want to get this puck deep and complete their line change. And that is what they will do as Martin plays it off the boards for Montour up to center. Moskovitz up for Zolka. Zolka over the line. Zolka on his backhand. Zolka hits the brakes. Backhand pass behind the net. Martin waiting for this puck at the right point, but it's not going to get to him. Two Antelope right in the way there. As it comes near side to Avonworth. Taken away by Wilpala. Left point, it comes now to one of the Spartans. Snapshot, never made it to the net. And the rebound is not cleared out of there. Now it will be as it comes off a Montour skate. And it dribbles back inside Spartan territory. Connor Hubbard, the senior, was involved on that sequence for the Spartans. And he watches Wilpala play this puck in the right circle offensively for Montour. Off balance shot denied by Danny Mack from long distance. And near side it comes to Avonworth, and they play it up to the red line for Dolan. Dolan with an unconscious pass there for Odell, who is looking for his second, but a good toe save there by Diani. Leffler ridden into the boards as he plays this puck around. And Montour offside, as the Spartans will complete a line change here. Ditto Avonworth with 10.5 to play to the ice cut.
Now all of a sudden, since that first period, coming out of the break, it just seems Avonworth has had the ice leaning their way, and there's been a little bit of a sputter here from Montour lately, but it's definitely been all Avonworth so far.
And this is Newhouse Godine playing the puck behind his own net. Up to center. Montour goes D to D for David Strelka. Up for Barefoot. Barefoot left side to Fiedler. Fiedler score! 1-1 hockey game. Hunter Fiedler not going to the roof. He's going downstairs. He's going 5-hole on Danny Mack. And just like that, with one flick of the wrist, Montour's back in it.
Yeah, he just fired that one low and right on net, and just one of those luck shots. You take them and you hope that they go in. If worst case scenario, it gets saved. Best case scenario, it goes in. But you get a couple other opportunities for a rebound where the players were set, and that was definitely something you look at and you look forward.
Fiedler not part of the All-Star contingent, but he's a deceptively good player. 7 goals,
Rogers.
10 points coming in, and now 8 goals on the season. Shot from distance denied by Danny Mack. As you hear the goal announcement, bouncing puck side of the net, it's loose in front, and Mack finally able to control the chaos with 9:40 to play in the second. Face-off coming up to Danny Mack's right. Herbst will take it from Montour. Zadovsky leading in for Avonworth, and Zadovsky wins it for the Lopes. Avonworth skating it under pressure, back to center, but it's quickly taken away by the Spartans. Hard hit on Herbst as he plays this puck. Trying to ward off one of the Avonworth back checkers as he puts it off an Avonworth skate as it bounces to the corner. From behind the goal line, it's played off the glass up to the point. Reversing the play is Cessna. And now a delayed whistle here. A delayed offside, I believe, is the indication against the Montour Spartans. Referee Batko making the call.
That goal rejuvenated both sides, as you see the physicality starting to pick up here in the last minute or so. These two teams are starting to realize what's on line here.
Actually, I don't think this is going to be offside on Montour. I think they're saying that this puck went off somebody on one of the benches.
Yeah, I think that's what Jason Evans is over there discussing with his players. Just don't get your arms over that bench. Make sure that you keep everything to yourself.
So that was a break for Montour, but it's a moot point now as the Spartans have to bring it up the long way. Dolan trying to hook up with Odell there, but it was not to be. Avery Leffler unable to handle this puck as Odell crosses the line to go after it. Dallas trying to go up ahead to the man ahead of the play for Montour. That was Schultenbrand. Spartans from their own blue line trying to outlet it to Schultenbrand. Instead it comes to Vincent Frank. Frank ridden into the glass by Dolan and now bumped hard by the Avonworth freshman. Past the midpoint of the period and game here. Game one of our PIHL Hockey Night Live doubleheader on 10-Band TV. Montour and Avonworth deadlocked at 1. The teams have traded second period goals. Aiden Odell and Hunter Fiedler, and the Spartans score on the wraparound.
That one snuck in off the back pad and just rolled in the net.
Chase Schultenbrand fools us all and fools Danny Mack to give Montour its first lead of the night. 8:09 to play, second period. Schultenbrand, the captain, makes it happen for his 8th of the season.
Yeah, it just bounced off the back of the pad and rolled in past Mack.
Now, following the narrative of the last meeting between these teams, Avonworth grabbed the early lead between these Class A Gold Division rivals on Clearview Arena ice at the Island Sports Center back in early December, but then the Spartans counterpunched and did so with great ferocity. Liam Dallas picks up the primary helper, and the only helper at that is this off-wing shot from Martin is denied by Danny Mack. From the side of the net, this try feigned on by Wilpula. Now Mack has to make a save on the follow-up. Puck out of play into the protective netting. And now it's the Spartans suddenly tilting the ice.
All it takes is that one bounce. I know I gave him a little bit of a rough turn there earlier, but you know, it just takes a little bit to get back into it, and once your timing just hits, it hits hard. And Spartans making it hard on Danny Mack right now, as everything that seems to be coming this way is going all the way in Montour's favor, except for this draw, which gets pulled outside of the zone here with 7:33 left to go in the second period.
Avonworth coming in, having dropped 3 of their last 4, but they have won back-to-back games in this building as the home team. Montour was winners of 3 in a row until they ran into North Hills, right before the holiday break, as this shot is off the mask of Danny Mack from a tight angle down low.
Yeah, North Hills right now just the team to beat, as it looks like in single A. They're just everywhere.
One of the feel-good stories of the year in the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League. Not a team that has had a lot of on-ice success, but certainly having it in bunches this season. And back-checking is Penrose, the Avonworth captain, to deny the possible scoring chance for Aiden Moskowitz. Avonworth, with under 7 to go in the second period, playing this from its own corner. Now, Montour hasn't spent a ton of time away from the island. They've played only 4 games coming into tonight as the designated away team, and they're 2-2 in those games, but a chance the other way for Avonworth, making a move and scoring! Connor Ralston! Bountier Sensei! The sophomore all-star with goal number 11, and it's a big one to make it a 2-2 game.
He was just able to sneak behind the defense, and it was a great pass coming out of the zone. Ralston just snuck in behind and was in on goal and fired it just to the Wayne side of Deani as Deani got beat wide, and that was it. Deani bit, but you know what? That's young goaltenders are it's gonna happen on breakaways. You'll learn those over the years.
Ralston has been a very impressive player this year for Avonworth. I saw him in the regular season opener against Wheeling Park. Very impressive underclassman, as here comes Austin Gaddy the other way for the Lopes. Puts it off the leg of Deani and gets back his own rebound. To the point it comes. Here's a long-range bomb that goes just wide. Not sure if Deani got a piece of that one, but in any event, Leffler playing it at the edge of the left circle as he gets stood up, and the puck gets put off the side of the net by Anderson. Avonworth retreating. As coming the other way is Fiedler, backhanding it off the goal stick of Danny Mack. And the Spartans get it right back!
Rogers.
Through the wickets goes Jack Rogers, and just like that, it's 3-2. Business picking up a little here at the Baierl Ice Complex.
That puck just got tossed on net. Jack Rogers was in and just fired at 5-hole. And there isn't much you can do about that one right there. Just a beautiful play by the low man, and just to get that in front through the traffic that was there, and Rogers at the tip.
Well, just as I was about to say, Montour is playing a very responsible road game as this puck goes over the glove hand of Deani. Ralston scores to pull Avonworth even and makes me want to eat my words. Now I don't want to eat my words anymore as Rogers gets it right back from Montour, and the Spartans have had a number of answers in this second period. Cross-ice pass for Jack Rogers, the goal-getter for the Montour Spartans with 5:20 to go to the ice cut. A seesaw battle between these gold division rivals who came in tied for the 5th playoff spot. Here comes Avonworth with a chance the other way, and a kick save by Deani. The rebound is cleared aside by one of the Spartans. Cessna was in the right place at the right time as Avonworth was looking for a puck off pads. And now here's a centering play that's broken up by Avonworth. To the boards it goes for David Stroka. From inside the left circle, it's put on goal, and this time Mack will cover, or will he? No, he won't. The Spartans took the puck away before Mack could freeze it. Up the boards it comes to Odell. Odell met there by Cameron Woodruff as this puck is Murphy dumped through center. And it will go not quite far enough for icing as Montour wraps it around the boards for Cameron Woodruff. Up ahead for Herbst. Played the other direction by Ralston. Odell gets it over the Montour blue line as Stephen LaShawn wants to make a line change here. Lead pass now to Dylan Rogers. Rogers' shot partially deflected and well wide of goal. Spartans operating behind the Avonworth cage. Bouncing puck out in front. Avonworth double teaming the man out in front for Montour. And that was Cameron Woodruff as this shot is denied by Deani and unable to cover. It's loose to the corner and picked up defensively by Montour. Stroka cleaning up the mess there and bringing this puck up ahead now for Cameron Woodruff. Centering for Stroka, bouncing puck controlled by Avonworth. Leffler from his knees up ahead and a chance for Cooper Powell on a breakaway. Powell to the goal. Score! Hit that subscribe button. 3-3, Avonworth, Montour, a 3rd breakaway goal for the Avonworth Antelope.
And that was just on an awkward bounce to coming out of the zone. And it was just a nice little pickup by Powell, and he was able to bring it in and just take it to the backhand. I mean, that's the second time that Diani was beat by that move inside-outside. So something you might want to look at in practice and maybe work on a little bit. But, you know, that's, like I said, it's the youth of freshman goaltenders. You talk about that, and you learn over 4 years.
Oh, we told you what a strong JV program Avonworth has had the last couple of years, and a lot of those freshmen and sophomores making it clear that we weren't just whistling Dixie at the top of the broadcast as the freshman gets on the board for the 4th time this year, and a hard hit there as Stroka gets tied up with Seifarth. Seifarth is certainly not one to be trifled with, as we've seen in a couple of Avonworth games this season. Vincent Frank from long range. Mack had to make a save as this puck on the rebound is whacked out of midair off the side of the net. The excitement at a fever pitch in this second period after a scoreless first. 6 goals in the frame, 3 by either side, with 2:43 to go to the ice cut. Seifarth trying to go down low to Austin Gaddy. Cooper Powell, the freshman, getting the game-tying goal for the Avonworth Antelopes, his 4th goal of the season with the varsity squad. Again, 3 breakaway goals for Avonworth on freshman netminder Ethan Diani. And this one is put just wide from long range off a deflection. Vincent Frank over the blue line for Montour, goes to Stroka. JJ Stroka puts it off the inside of the post. How did that one stay out? Now some puck luck there for the Lopes as they play it in the corner and get it back to center. Joey Moore, 1-on-1. Make that 1-on-2 as he's knocked down from behind. Penalty coming up on Montour. And Joey Moore, that was all him.
Just got tied up, and Zolka came back with a full head of steam and just got an extra shot in on him to make sure he didn't make the play, and he's going to head off for the hook.
Avonworth going to the power play for the first time tonight. They come in at 17.3% on the season. They are just ahead of Montour in that respect. Number 16 out of the 23 teams in the classification. And what a time to pick up that number. 3-3 game, 1:50 to go, second period. Joey Moore, the all-star, drawing the penalty for Avonworth, and here the Lopes operate on the power play. Penrose with it left point for Ralston. Ralston, who has a goal in this period, goes cross ice for Gaddy. Gaddy trying to center it for Penrose. Good keep there by Gaddy. Gaddy deflected just wide in front by Seifarth. And a hard bump there by Moore as Avonworth brings it up through center. Seifarth trying to outmaneuver Cessna. Seifarth with it in the corner now. 1:13 to go on the penalty to Caden Martin. Put out in front. Oh, the goaltender Diani didn't know where it was. It came right to David Stroka, who's able to clear the zone himself. Good body check there by Moore. Moore driving the net. Moore shooting, save by Diani. And the rebound is cleared over 2 outstretched Avonworth gloves. 40 to go in the period, 50 to go in the minor penalty to Caden Martin of Montour. Can Avonworth beat the buzzer and break the tie? Well, they're going to ice this puck, and that will drive Stephen LaShawn nuts, I'm sure. That'll drive any coach nuts, Brian, icing on a power play.
You can't do that. It's one of the things, unless you're absolutely gassed, but if in this situation you get the short change, there's no reason for it.
Wilpala against Dolan. Dolan wins it for Avonworth. Wilpala has it shorthanded for Montour, but he's poke checked immediately. And Avonworth will try to get its power play set up one more time here in the dying moments of period 2. Dolan bumped as he comes in offside over the Montour blue line.
It's going to be interesting to see the adjustments that they make inside the Avonworth locker room before the third period lets in. because right now they're getting pretty well beat up. Other than a couple breakaways here, they're not getting any offensive pressure whatsoever. I mean, the 3 goals on a breakaway side.
Montour, a team that had 26 second period goals this year. That is the 4th most in single A coming into this week. And they've got 3 tonight. But unfortunately for their sake, so do the Avonworth Antelopes with exactly 4 ticks to talk in period 2. Now the Spartans, to their credit, look like they're going to survive this penalty kill, barring unforeseen developments. 2 seconds left, and that'll do it. We will cut the ice at the Baierl Ice Complex here inside the Galaxy Rink, where the score is, after 2 periods, the Montour Spartans 3, the Avonworth Antelopes 3. With Brian Mitchell, I'm Matt Popchock, and you're watching it all on PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10-Band TV, presented by Iron Bridge.
The plural is antelope. Just kidding, guys.
And a special thanks to our musical guest, Old Neon, a local band providing the music during the ice cut and some of our other breaks for that matter. And to hear more of Old Neon, you can log on to musicfromthe412.com or download the Music from the 412 app to your Roku or Amazon Fire Stick. It's a brand new streaming source for local music from the makers of 10-Band TV, and very exciting new development that came to be over the holiday season. Matt Popchock and Brian Mitchell back here with you at the Baierl Ice Complex in Warrendale, Pennsylvania, inside the Galaxy Rink for Game 1 of our PIHL Hockey Night Live doubleheader on 10-Band TV, presented by Iron Bridge. And after a first period that wasn't much to write home about, the second period saw just wild swings of momentum in both directions.
Yeah, it just seemed like no team wanted to sit there at 50-50. It was either you had 100% of the momentum or you weren't. Like, Avonworth came out flying. Like, they had the adjustments down. Like, this is how we're going to handle this second period. We're going to score. We're going to come down here. We're going to shut you down. And then Montour went through that rough patch and got that one goal. And all of a sudden, it was Montour saying, yeah, you're not getting anything here. And it took 3 breakaway goals for these Avonworth Antelope. And they were able to get get that tie here today. But Montour's blood, guts, effort, and a little bit of luck for Avonworth on this side. They're going to need to put it together offensively because you're not going to get that many chances on Jason Evans, especially because he's probably telling his defense right now, stay back a little bit. These bounces are coming your way. They're able to get in there, and it's not a knock on Ethan Diani because he's getting hung out to dry just a little bit on those breaks, but luck piles up a little bit, and eventually that does go off of somebody's momentum, and it's something to say about that swing going on. So
5 goals after Aiden Odell scored to make it 1-0 Avonworth, 1:36 into the second period. 5 goals combined by both teams in less than a 7-minute span. So pretty telling right there.
As we said, they both like to fly. They're run and gun. They like to go at it, and that's what you're going to see here in the third period.
Connor Ralston with one of those goals for Avonworth. 6 points now in his last 5 games, and the Lopes really have some impressive underclassmen, and they're contributing again tonight.
And that's what you like to see. You don't want to have to rely on all of your upperclassmen, especially in a program that you're building like this, coming into your first season as a pure team. You don't want to be a one and done and not be able to get back to it as soon as you see it. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses, because you want that playoff experience too.
It'll be interesting to see how much they can endure in this third period and how much longer Danny Mack can hang on. We told you about his season high in saves, the 36 he made against North Hills. He's up to 31 already, as shots through 2 periods of play were 34-20 in favor of the Montour Spartans. Spartans 3, Avonworth 3, as the Spartans operate on a freshly cut sheet of ice here. Wilpala one touching it in behind the Avonworth goal line. Dylan Tennis going in after it. Tennis getting tied up behind his own net as the Spartans try to wrap it around and put it off the skate of Avery Leffler. To the corner it comes from Moskovitz. Moskovitz to Wilpala. Stroka gave it up to Gaddy. Gaddy flips it over Stroka's glove and through center. Dribbling puck will be gathered in by Caden Martin just shy of the goal line, so no icing, as Avonworth is changing behind the play. That outlet pass intercepted by Gaddy. Seifarth tags up and goes in after this puck as Montour goes D-to-D. Long outlet pass off a couple of sticks intended for Schultenbrand. Schultenbrand, good hustle here to try and get to this puck, but he's going to be cut off by the Avonworth defender, and that is Johnny Smallwood, the sophomore. Seifarth absorbing a hard blow by Stroka in front of the Montour benches. This shot is put off the stomach and mask of Ethan Diani from a tight angle. This outlet pass finds Schultenbrand. Schultenbrand with space. Schultenbrand poke checked at the last moment. Penrose got a piece. Oh, an important play there by the Avonworth captain as this puck is sent off the glass back to center. Liam Dallas from the red line. Poke check by Gaddy. Joey Moore, who leads Avonworth with 13 goals, coming back the other way, and the All-Star will put it in behind the Montour goal line all the way around the boards for Seifarth. Seifarth escorted off the puck neatly by Vincent Frank as Tedis plays it at neutral red. Sent in behind the Montour net now. Spartans in the middle of a line change as they play this puck defensively. Right back in front of the Avonworth blue line where Dolan puts it into Montour territory. Near side it comes to Fiedler. Fiedler monitored by Newhouse Godine as Avonworth sends it up ahead to Dolan. Dolan 1-on-2, trying to outmaneuver his man. Carlisle stood him up at the Montour blue line. Far side it comes now for one of the Spartans. And up to center for Fiedler. Fiedler on the off wing, shooting into the body of Danny Mack. Save made, rebound, score!
Jack Rogers.
Rogers goes right through the heart of Robinson Township and to the net to smash home that rebound. And it's a 4-3 game in favor of the Montour Spartans with 13:37 to play in the third period.
That was some patience from Hunter Fiedler to come in get the rebound on the corner and see that Rogers was coming in and just fire one on. And Rogers just knowing to keep it low because he's going to have all the net to shoot at. It was a nice little play, and that was a good play by Fiedler down low.
So he'll pick up another point. He's had a very strong game offensively for Montour tonight. Rogers, his second goal of the night, 6th of the campaign for the alternate captain. The good old POP, puck off pads. That time it worked. And there was nothing Danny Mack could have done about that one. No icing here on the Antelope as it's rolling in behind the Montour goal.
I knew you would get to eventually get it right.
I just have to keep chopping wood. Eventually the tree's going to come down.
Join us. Back across, here we go.
Smallwood is absorbing wood from one of the Montour
Speaking
Spartans.
of chopping wood.
Yes.
Wow.
That's Thomas Barefoot giving him the worst of that one as Montour plays this puck in neutral ice. Barefoot retreating now as it's sent up ahead a little too far for the reach of Rogers, but right there is Fiedler. Fiedler trying to cut to the net. He can't. He stood up neatly by Leffler, and Avonworth guilty of icing with 12:39 to go in regulation. We will be on hand for Avonworth's next game, which will also be here in the Baierl Complex. The only difference is Avonworth will be the designated away team as they share this building with their opponent that night, the Quaker Valley Quakers. And that'll be a 7 o'clock puck drop for game 1 of our doubleheader next Monday night on 10-Band TV.
Kind of jealous. That's going to be a good contest.
A very good one. Kevin Quinn always icing a very strong varsity team, one of the fabled programs of PIHL Class A, the Quaker Valley Quakers. And it'll be a good test for this young Avonworth side. Lopes have problems of their own to deal with right now, though, trailing the Montour Spartans in Class A Gold Division action 4-3 here, with a temporary hold of third place in the division on the line here in this contest. Both teams trying to inch closer to one of those 2 first-round buys available in the division. And it has been, in the truest sense of the phrase, a seesaw battle. Jack Rogers with 2 tallies for the visitors, including the go-ahead goal at the moment. Seifarth counterattacking as this sneaky little drop pass has turned into a shot over top the goal. And firing that puck was Joey Moore, as Montour is guilty of icing. Another stretch pass that is for naught. Holden Wilpula, the intended target.
Yeah, Wilpula was just behind that pass. He was trying to stretch out for it to try to stay on side in the same process. Unfortunately, if he would have tried to go any further, he probably would have been offside. But, you know, it was a worth a shot for Montour to try to maintain that lead and maybe extend it just a little bit.
Waiting in the wings are 2 other teams that wear red and white and black and gold, respectively. Peters Township and North Allegheny. A battle of the last 2 Class 3A Penguins Cup champions as Diani makes a nifty blocker save. Peters and NA coming up next here on 10-Band TV, so stick around for that. Flying into the offensive zone now, Caden Martin for Montour. He goes coast to coast and puts it off the side of the Avonworth net as the bouncing puck is taken at the other corner by Zolka. Moskovitz with it, playing it out in front, and Wilpula unable to tee it up. Richard Mulch approaching the Montour zone, trying to go cross ice, excuse me, to Aiden Odell, but Odell too well covered. And the Spartans should be able to get this puck back to center with 10:50 to go in the third and a 1-goal lead. Wilpula watches it played to Mulch. Wilpula with a steal here. Avonworth sending it off the glass. Bouncing puck picked up by Caden Martin in enemy territory. Now Mulch has it for Avonworth, and he's going to outlet it up ahead to a man up ahead of the play as this snapshot is put off the body of Diani. And that was Leffler firing that puck on net. Chance the other way for Montour in transition. Centering play to Wilpula. Wilpula shooting that one off the body of Leffler. No, that's Dylan Tedis who gave up the frame to get in the way of that puck as this one goes wide from the side of the net. Wilpula misfires. Shot from distance is denied by Danny Mack. Out in front it comes under a Montour stick, picked up by Carlisle, and it's corralled in front. Oh, good job of bailing out his goaltender there by Tedis as Mack was caught off balance, and now Montour is offside with 9:51 to play.
It was a good play by Tedis, but there was a little bit of a miscommunication with the goaltender as he was trying to cover it to try to maintain to get that face-off, and Tedis just was able to get the stick under there and separate the puck a little bit. So yes, Tedis did a good job, but there was that little bit of an unknown section there that might have rolled the other way if it went lucky.
Spartans trying to catch the Lopes in disarray, and they did, and nearly made them pay for it. Another goal here conceded, you figure would be costly to Avonworth. Still a lot of time left, but the way Montour has responded from falling behind in that second period, you want to keep the game where it is right now and hope that you can get at least one more, and hopefully for Avonworth's sake, more than one more, with 9.5 to play in the third. Montour from behind its own goal. Near side for Dallas. Hennigan got in the way of that outlet pass. Penrose plays it on the backhand. Up ahead for Hennigan. Hennigan fighting for possession. Hennigan too well tied up by Connor Hubbard. Bouncing puck, the Lopes keep it alive at the left point. Good body check there, though, by Montour as the Spartans come back. Possibly 3-on-2, but we got a penalty coming up behind the play.
Moore's headed off. He got into a little extra with, I believe that is Wilpula along the boards.
And Holden Wilpula is indeed the Montour player shaken up in front of his own bench, but getting off under his own volition.
No, that's Schultenbrand.
I stand corrected. You are correct.
Those 8s in this blackout jerseys just don't jive with me, and that was Schultenbrand who was tied up along the boards.
Well, no harm done, including to Schultenbrand, as...
Well, it will be because there's now a minor going up against Avonworth, and they've got to kill a 2-minute minor here.
He takes a seat, and the Montour power play goes to work for the second time tonight. Both teams 1 for 1 in the PK, and there goes the power play. Fiedler frustrated as he touches up.
JJ Stroka.
And so one of the two Strokas will feel shame for 2 minutes and then get free with 8:45 to go in the third. We'll play 4-on-4 for 152.
He just tied him up along the blue line, trying to make sure he doesn't get the opportunity to go any other way, and took him down. Interference.
Well, the ebbs and flows of this game have certainly been a sight to see.
The way these two teams have been skating, though, 4-on-4 might be a little bit of fun here. Let's see how this goes. Give him a little bit more room.
Dolan contacted from behind. Play continues. Montour with the open ice, brings it up through center. Riley Cessna going one-on-one with Tedis. Tedis stood him up, but Avonworth unable to clear as Mack had that one go off his glove and just wide of the net.
David Stroka's shot just bounced off the glove.
And now Jake Seifarth with it, bringing it up over the Montour blue line. Seifarth with a little curl and drag maneuver there, but couldn't hang on to the puck. Montour coming back 3 men strong over the Avonworth blue line. Fiedler centering play, broken up by the Lopes. Good keep there by Cessna. Cessna from the outside edge of the left circle gets his own rebound back, and that follow-up shot won't get on goal either. Seifarth, left wing side, has Dolan cutting down the middle. Seifarth going to take matters into his own hands, pull back. And bounce it inside the circle. Cross ice pass intended for Leffler. 48 seconds to go in 4-on-4 play. Montour with it, playing it safely back through center. No icing, officials say, as Leffler watches it bounce off the back of his own net. And a giveaway here nearly to one of the Spartans. Oh, a bad bounce there. Otherwise, Moskovitz would have had a clean path to goal. Chance the other way for Avonworth. To the net they go. Kick save by Diani. It's loose. Turnaround try. Oh, unable to shoot it cleanly was Zadovsky, the freshman. And now Montour catches a bit of puck luck. Lead pass intended for Moskovitz. Cut off by Leffler. Wilpala shielding his man from that puck as Montour gathers it in and peels back defensively. So Avonworth will get a brief power play for 9 seconds here, if you want to call it that. But they won't have a chance to really do anything with it as Danny Mack plays this puck to the corner. And now we're back to 5-a-side. Gaddy from his own zone. Up to center, given away to one of the Spartans. That's Schultenbrand. Up for Moskovitz. Moskovitz couldn't hang on. Gaddy off the glass. Beyond Ralston. And this one will be icing against Avonworth.
I'm just sitting here watching these two teams play and thinking about how the playoffs look in those crossover games, and I'm just wondering, you know, how would one of these teams look against Kiski? How would one of these teams look against Norwin, Indiana? And I think right now in that extra position is not Shaler. Somebody else jumped in this last couple games, but I believe it was Shaler. But one of those teams that is in that 6th position in the other division. So as I watch that, I'm seeing how those teams that I've watched on the other side match up against it. And it could be a really fun single-A postseason coming up.
And here comes Aiden Odell. He has Mulch down the middle. Mulch deflecting it toward goal, but wide. Oh, a good look there in transition for Avonworth. Shots in this third period, 4-4, and it really doesn't feel that way. It feels like both teams have had a high number of quality chances.
I think they've adjusted to the point where they're just trying to shut each other down, and the opportunities they're getting aren't as quality as they were in the first 2 periods, especially that second period where the breakaways were aplenty and you had a lot of really tight shots for Montour.
Kept alive at the blue line. Avonworth fans not agreeing as Carlisle keeps it in the offensive zone for the Spartans. Cross-ice pass comes to Carlisle. He tries to reach back for this puck. He can't, and Avonworth clears. Hubbard retreating. Gets to it before Mulch can. Near side for Dallas. Dallas at center. Waiting for his mates to complete a line change here. Goes cross-ice. Good pass there. And a shot by Thomas Barefoot is right in the glove of Danny Mack. And Avonworth clears it up through center. Icing again on the Lopes with 5:13 to go in regulation. Still just a 1-goal game.
They're still out there skating pretty rough, but I'm starting to see some heavy breathing as they move along, and you have to wonder how well they're going to be able to hold out the rest of this contest. Is that they're going end to end as you move along. They're just leaving it all out there in the middle of the season.
I think that there are, to your earlier point, Brian, a good number of Class A teams, especially in that gold division, that could potentially go on lengthy playoff runs, including these two here tonight. But a lot still to be decided in the 2023 calendar year, including this game, which still hangs in the balance with under 5 minutes to go. Montour coming back, possibly, if they can hurry, an on-man rush, but Spartans had a bit of trouble gathering that puck in on the increasingly slushy third period ice. And now Spartans play it behind their own goal. Cut off by Seifarth toward the net. It's loose in front. Oh, a fortuitous bounce for Montour there as they were able to clear the area. And they will take an icing call with 4:26 to play.
Sorry, I'm looking something up, my man. I was actually looking at the standings going into Class A, and you know, I do these every week, but for some reason I don't remember them all the time. I know the top seeds, but Greensburg-Salem losing and Norwin gaining ground on the other. You think about the travel that you might have to have in that first round. If you play that first round game, it's going to be early in the week, and in the second half of the week, you're going to have to travel to either Alpha Ice Complex all the way out to Lynch Field, possibly Palmer Imaging Arena, and you know, Quaker Valley playing here, that's another team that might have to host a team. McDowell's right in contention right now for that second bye, and they're going to host a game in the second round. So a possibility there that you have to make those trips.
Avonworth coming off a loss to those aforementioned McDowell Trojans up in Erie back on the 3rd of January. That was last Tuesday, their first game of the calendar year. Trying to win their first game of January here tonight, trailing 4-3 with 3:50 to go in the 3rd period here at the Baierl Ice Complex. With this puck from Montour, Dalton Zolka. And Avonworth takes possession back and sends it up ahead to Connor Ralston. Ralston harassed by Moskowitz as he pulls up along the half wall. And the Spartans are going to be able to take over and get it back into Avonworth territory as Mack has to smother this puck from mid-range.
And the other thing that you have to remember with the scheduling in the postseason, it's not always guaranteed you're going to have the home game, especially later in the season. Some of these rinks don't have their availability to be able to post those games late on Thursdays and the Tuesday games. So some rinks just say, we can't have you here that night, and you'd have to play somewhere else. We saw it a couple years ago with Bishop McCourt having to play Indiana at Kirk Nevin Arena. So a game that I called, it was won by Indiana in overtime on that run towards the COVID shutdown.
And up through center now comes Jack Dolan for Avonworth. Dolan with hair on fire urgency, playing this puck in behind the Montour goal line as he's knocked down. Play continues. Final 3 minutes of 3rd period play. Montour 4, Avonworth 3. Only goal of the period thus far belongs to Jack Rogers of the visiting Spartans, his 2nd goal of the night. Vincent Frank in the corner for Montour. He's bumped hard by Smallwood, and Smallwood tackles him to the ice. Again, ref's going to let boys be boys, it appears here, as another of the Spartans goes down. That was Schultenbrand getting the worst of that hit. Penrose over the blue line. Penrose for Avonworth. Couldn't get it cleanly on net. Instead, it comes to Odell. Odell tries to center it for one of his line mates. That pass not a clean one as Montour counterattacks. Martin splits the defense. Martin to the goal. Good save there by Danny Mack. Great play by Caden Martin going coast to coast. Better save by the Avonworth sophomore, who has surpassed his season high, by the way. 38 saves now for Avonworth's Iron Man. Final 2 of regulation. And how much longer will this net to our left be occupied by Danny Mack, we wonder. Sent to the red line, sent right back in by Landon Carlisle. Mulch plays it around the boards, settled down by Seifarth. Seifarth baits his man, now comes to center. Seifarth around another Montour Spartan. In behind the goal now, playing this puck for Avonworth. Mack looking to the Avonworth bench. Stephen LeSean getting ready to bark out instructions as this shot is denied by Diani. The rebound is blocked. It's loose in the left circle and cleared by Montour. Oh, what a sequence there as Avonworth continues to press in desperation for that tying goal. Seifarth looking for this dribbling puck.
He's calling. He's not hearing. He doesn't hear him. Wait, tell him to stay.
Leffler peeling back for Dylan Tedis. Up ahead now to Seifarth. Seifarth for Hennigan. Sneaky little pass there, but the Spartans broke it up.
Made it all the way to the top of the circles. There he goes. Here he goes. He's off.
Empty net down to our left. And it is backhanded in the general direction of that empty net, but Avery Leffler was right there waiting.
Ralston is the extra attacker.
One touch to the Avonworth blue line. Lopes having a little bit of trouble getting organized here offensively with 38 seconds to go in the game. Seifarth dumps it in. Giving chase is Ralston. Ralston behind the goal line. Poking it to Leffler. Leffler can't get to that puck. Montour will. Up to the point for Tedis. And what's the call here? It's going to be offside against Avonworth.
They're calling it intentional all the way back down.
Oh, boy.
Just outside the, all the way back down. They're calling it intentional.
That could be the break that decides the game for the Montour Spartans, holding on to that 1-goal lead with 23.8 ticks to talk here in period 3.
And there's a timeout.
Stephen LeSean will use his. We will keep it right here and remind you that as I just saw Rick Tinkle walking out of the Galaxy rink in his familiar Tam O'Shanter. His Peters Township Indians, Pennsylvania Cup champions in Class AAA, will be taking on the team that was dethroned en route to Peters' run last year, the North Allegheny Tigers. That game coming up a little bit after 9 o'clock Eastern, thereabouts. And Brian Mitchell and I, Matt Popchock, will have the call of that one as well here on PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10 Band TV.
Well,
so stay tuned for that one.
That depends how many times you say antelopes. I could take my ball and go home. No, there we go. I'm excited to see another AAA game. It's been a while since I've called a AAA game. You know, you get the, you know, my area, you don't get too many of those on the east side of the city, so.
No, you don't. And Rick Tingle, one of the elder statesmen of high school hockey in Western Pennsylvania. In stark contrast, Andrew Cease, a very young head coach and a first-year head coach with mighty big shoes to fill in Mike Bagnotto, who retired from coaching this past year. And Cease won the St. Margaret's Fall face-off behind the North Allegheny bench. So, hey, way to make a great first impression there, new guy. And he's got a big game coming up tonight for playoff positioning against the Indians. So stay tuned for that. So the Avonworth timeout is over. And we're back to action.
David Strelka in the neutral zone.
Mack had to make a save from his knees as he is occupying his net once again. 15 seconds left. Montour just trying to eat up the clock here in a 4-3 game. 10 seconds to go. Lopes need to hurry. This puck is flipped up to center. Played with a high stick, however. That high stick is now negated, and the Lopes are going to run out of time, it appears, as this puck is dribbled out in front. That's it, and that's all. The Montour Spartans give hockey hugs to freshman goaltender Ethan Diani, who helps Montour prevail here on the road, 4-3 over Avonworth.
That's one of those wins that you learn something from. Everything didn't go your way, and everything that could have went wrong kind of did whenever on those breakaways. But you learn from that. You learn how to keep your momentum, and you learn how to build from that. And maybe that's something that Montour is going to take into the future. And Avonworth the other way. You know, you're going to have games whenever you're getting beat up like this, but you were still in it. You were still in this thing down to the last couple seconds of this contest. So you build on that, and you hope that that goes into your next game against Quaker Valley, and you just figure out what you're going to do from that point.
And next up, Montour will visit Chartiers Valley at the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena. They hadn't won a road game before tonight since November the 7th when they beat their rivals Moon. And they say that Mondays are never fun days. Well, first Jason Evans found out he's coaching the All-Star team tonight. He gets a nice victory to start the week 14 of PIHL play. Thank you, producer Todd Kazarowski. Thank you, camera operator Michael Lyman. Thank you, color commentator Brian Mitchell, our very special guest. And thank you for watching and listening. I'm Matt Popchock. Once again, the final score, Montour 4, Avonworth 3 in PIHL Class A Gold Division play. Peters Township versus North Allegheny is next on PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10 Band TV, presented by Iron Bridge.